Okay.
Ready, Doug?
Yes.
And we sing.
Hallelujah, hallelujah.
Now, thankfully, in 25 years of directing music here, I've only had 2 people that I can remember who had that vocal production. But as strange as that sounds, listen to this. Try it again. Here we go. And sing. Hallelujah, hallelujah.
Give him a corncob
Now,
pipe.
thankfully, I've never had anybody who had that vocal production, but that's a legitimate vocal production in certain styles of music, isn't it? Okay, so those are extreme examples, but now listen to this. Ready? Go. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Now, those of you who've grown up with a lot of classical choir influence, that's a very acceptable technique that you learn in classically oriented choirs. And it works great if you're singing, you know, the Messiah or the Mozart Requiem, something like that, and where everybody is being trained to sing in that aesthetic. If you carry that sound into a small, intimate, more pop-oriented group, it's going to stick out just as you heard it do. And so you have to think to yourself, well, what must I do to adapt? And so there are a couple ways to go about it. Now, the first is, let's hear Doug sing that part by himself again. Go ahead, Doug.
Hallelujah, hallelujah.
Now, what do you hear in that? I hear kind of a bright tone with rather small vowels and a small, quick vibrato. And if I'm an accomplished enough singer and mimic, I can try to just exactly duplicate that. Let's listen. Ready? Go.
Hallelujah, hallelujah.
And you hear that it already sounds more blended. That's hard to do, especially since everybody's voice is a little different. If I were Doug's brother or his cousin and had more of a natural kind of sound due to genetics, it would be easy to do. That's why you hear so many successful sibling vocal groups. Actually, the best way to do it is to kind of eliminate any personality at all, or most of it, and sing in what's known as the half voice, where you take out most of your personal tonal characteristics and try to melt into that. Now let's have Doug sing it once again. Go ahead, by yourself.
Hallelujah, hallelujah.
Now I'm going to try to mimic all those vowel shapes and articulation, but I'm going to sing it now just in my half voice. Let's try it.
Hallelujah, hallelujah.
Now, with that production, I've taken out most of my individual personality and just tried to melt into his voice, trying to match the vowels, because those are non-negotiable, the articulation, because that's non-negotiable. Anything you do different from that will make you stand apart. Okay? So, that's what I call default setting. If you can learn to sing in this half voice, and basically when I say half voice, it means you're taking out most of your chest registers, chest resonance. That's the first thing I say. Hallelujah. That sound is what opera singers get to project to the back of the hall over a full orchestra. So singing in the half voice means that I take out most of that chest resonance and let my head resonators, the sinuses in the back of the hard palate, do almost all the work. Hallelujah, hallelujah. You hear how much, now I can actually sing pretty loudly in that, if I wanted to. It's not going to be as loud as the big chesty operatic sound, but it still can be fairly loud. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Would certainly be not soft. It wouldn't sound. Here's another. You could go overboard with that. Try it again, Doug. Ready? Go.
Hallelujah, hallelujah.
Now that's another legitimate vocal technique in certain styles. But you hear how I've gone too far back the other way. And I've drawn attention to myself by now becoming all pressing. Mr. President. You know? And so You don't want to go there either. So reaching that half voice mark, but it all involves listening to him, figure out how he's singing, his vowel shapes, his articulation, you know, the brightness of his tone, the vibrato, all those things while I'm singing, okay? Now, actually, that's hard to do unless you think about it, but even harder is being the lead singer. I'm a very strong believer in that the lead singer of the band or whatever should not be expressing their own personality just to the hilt. After a generation of American Idol, where we are being told, you should be a star, and if we can't be a star, you should sound like this star, where we're just kind of getting out there, being totally ourselves to the max, that works in certain situations, but in a worship service, there's only one star, and we are worshiping him. And so everything else we do needs to be more inclusive to make us feel like, yes, we're leading the congregation, but we are not above them. We are part of them. I want my dream is that every mediocre singer out there sitting in a pew feels like they are part of something greater, even if they're not anywhere close to pitch. They're not thinking, wow, that guy up there is great. Whoa, that girl has a beautiful voice. But don't we sound wonderful in our praise? And so the lead singer even has a bigger job to try to not insert loud. For instance, you could get up here and go, hallelujah, listen to me now singing, hallelujah, oh yes. Will people notice that? Probably. Okay, and so is that what you want? No, I hope not. I hope not. So the lead singer has to feel like I'm contributing to this whole body, lifting their unified voice to the Lord. And so basically that's it. It takes concentration, especially when you're distracted reading words, reading notes, listening to the sound of all the instruments coming in your head, and the sound of the congregation coming back to you, which may or may not be exactly matched in timing and pitch with you. And so it's a big challenge. Let's all try this together. Let's listen to Doug sing this once again. Go ahead, Doug.
Alleluia, alleluia.
Okay, now let's add Sarah and Joan at the octave. Now try to sound as much like Doug as you can. Ready? Go.
Alleluia, alleluia.
Made you listen more, didn't it, just to think about it, okay? Do you feel that your sound was like his, bright enough? Vibrato was the right speed? It's not something you're going to learn just in one setting. Brad, you sing this part that I was singing. Sound just like Doug. Here we go. Ready? Go.
Alleluia, alleluia.
Not bad. Brad, come up a little more so we can hear you. And so, Leah, I'm going to put you on what would amount to like an alto part. You're just going to sing. Get that? Sound just like Doug. Doug, sing it for us once again.
Alleluia, alleluia.
And now everybody just on their own part, and I'll join you. Make it even. Ready? Go.
Alleluia, alleluia.
Let's try it again. Brad, you can sing out a little bit more. Here we go. Ready? Ready? Sing.
Alleluia, alleluia.
Okay? How do you guys think you did?
Definitely have to listen.
Okay. Very good. Any questions? Good. Thanks, Mike.